Well, it's Monday night, the 29th of January. This is the start of my second week. I've just taken my 1M tablet, and that's it now until next Monday. I haven't had any coffee or peppermint tea at all since I started taking the remedy. But as I'm not taking another tablet until next Monday, I might treat myself to a coffee in the middle of the week. Not a strong coffee, just something nice and mild. I could just do with a cup of coffee. It's been a bit of a trying day. I've had anxiety today. I didn't have a very good night's sleep. There was a solar storm overnight. The Schumann resonance has been all over the place, and there was solar flares going off sometimes for 2 or 3 hours at a time, and it's messing with a lot of people. Even if you're not aware of what's going on with the energies, you can still soak it up and it will manifest in different ways. So some people might feel tired or depressed or achy, headaches, nausea, any of those things. Well, today I had anxiety. I was worse this morning. I did improve this afternoon. The weather's been very dull today, and I always struggle in the winter, especially on dull days. So I waxed a few food wraps this evening, and I had a nice supper and spent some time with the cats, just chilling, listened to a bit of music, had a nice bath, and now I'm ready for a good night's sleep. Fingers crossed tomorrow will be a better day. Hey, it's Tuesday evening, the 30th of January. Last night I took my carcinosin 1M, and hoping that the rash on my legs would continue to improve, but alas, I woke up at 2:30 a.m. this morning with really terrible itching, and the rash had come back with a vengeance. So I took a picture of my legs and sent it to Lee, and she did come back and said not to take any more doses until after my next consultation, which is on the 13th of February. She said that in all probability the carcinosin is doing its job, the body doesn't need any more, and I think that's a sensible conclusion, and I was actually wondering the same. She said it's just best to let the body get on with it now, and that's what I'm going to do. The itching did start to subside this afternoon, which is good, but I've had a bath and washed my hair, and the legs were a little bit itchy in the hot water, but I think it should improve, all being well, over the next few days. I'm just really, really sensitive to anything, and that might be a challenge with this journey, but I'm sure that we can continue to work through things, and that there will be a remedy that I can tolerate well. I mean, this is one of the things that we're trying to cure, my allergies. I have a lot of them, and of course it's all linked to the immune system. But Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's something to just bear in mind as the weeks and months unfold. I mean, physically, apart from the rash on the legs, I've been all right. My tummy's settled quite a bit, and I haven't had quite as many problems with my digestive system, which is a bonus. Sleep, maybe slight improvement, but I'm nowhere near there yet. And I can't eat heavy food. If I eat heavy food, I have a bad night. I only eat lightly. I'm used to eating lightly. And you find when you're on a higher vibrational frequency that you eat lighter as well. You can't eat the heavy foods that you were eating when your vibrations were lower. Mentally, we went through a lot of stuff the other week, and I did a lot of work, shadow work in 2005, but of course I've had a lot of stuff go on since then. And even though I am an effective communicator and I've been able to talk to other people about it, I not want to burden people with all the problems. You find people switch off as well, they don't want to know. But if people have been receptive to talking, I've spoken, and if they've had problems that they wanted to discuss with me, we've been able to have a good conversation. I've used examples from my own life to maybe offer any advice that's asked for. I'm not one for giving advice unless somebody asks for it. By and large, I've been able to work through some things. We did, though, discuss some quite heavy things. Some of the subject matter was quite distressing. However, I was glad when it was out in the open. As I said, though, not that I've never talked to anybody, but to have somebody with that level of empathy who could just listen and really get where I was coming from made so much more difference. So even though I've got these feelings of anxiety or upset or melancholy or depression, and even being tongue-tied as well, which tells you something. I think there's often a little signal if you're tongue-tied. There's always a lot of symbolism behind that, the fact that you get tongue-tied. And that too is something to explore. So there's all this new shadow work coming up, but I'm not afraid of it. It's a good thing to have those feelings, to confront those feelings, acknowledge those, so you can deal with them and let them go and then move forward. In other words, it's all good. This is Friday, the 2nd of February. It would have been my father's 84th birthday. He's been in spirit now 6 years this coming June. In a way, it's a sad day, but I'm going to do my best to remain as upbeat as possible and celebrate his birthday. Dan and I are having baked salmon and fresh veggies for supper tonight, and we may raise a toast to my dad as well. I'm going to be doing some baked apples and single cream for pudding. Dad would have enjoyed a meal like that, and I do too. Yesterday and today have been beautiful days, nice and sunny. I've felt a bit more upbeat. The rash has subsided, so it was definitely an aggravation. It's nice that the legs are returning to normal, and I'm looking forward to the weekend. The anxiety has subsided a bit as well, which is good. I don't know how I'll be though on Tuesday when I have to go and have my bloods done at the GP practice. I don't like going there. Even the energy of the place from the outside, I don't like. But I've got an appointment at 9:10, and hopefully, because it's quite early in the day, I won't have to wait too long, so I'll be in and out. I may reward myself with a nice breakfast. Yesterday, I went to the Emporium to tidy it up a bit. I put a couple of new oyster gem candles on my 6 Oxford Street pitch. They're made with eco olive wax, and hopefully they'll do as well as the last batch did. I also spent a few hours yesterday sorting out the inventory of the things that Dan has taken to Creative for me today. There were a few textile items, some food wraps, and some candles. You'd be surprised how long it takes to label everything up, do an inventory, and to just get everything ready. This morning I sewed some textiles. I wasn't happy with the size of the cushion pad. It was a little bit small for the cushion cover I've made, so I cut some more fabric. I'm making a slightly larger one, and that looks like it will fit just fine with a little bit of wiggle room. I don't like cushion pads to be too tight fitting in the cushion cover. I like a little bit of give if possible, especially sometimes as well if you need to wash the cushion cover. Very occasionally they can shrink, although I tend to use shrink proof fabric. I use mainly natural fibres. I'm very fond of cotton. Occasionally I will use something like Harris tweed as well, which you do have to be more careful with. But hopefully there shouldn't be any problems with this new cushion pad. And I've been editing a bit of a video. I've made quite a few videos now. I'm quite behind. I also made a couple of greetings cards. And then I realised I had no sentiments for Mother's Day. And I do have a template, and Dan sometimes prints some off for me. But to be honest, I don't make as many cards as I used to, and it's just as easy to order a few bits off eBay from a lady I've used quite a lot in the past for little bits and pieces. She's a small business like myself, and they should come in a few days. Tomorrow I'm going to go down into Broadstairs to do a bit of shopping while Dan is at the Homeopath, and hopefully we'll have a good weekend. I hope you do too.